It's a $25 billion relationship that is set to get bigger. Turkey's trade with Africa has seen huge gains in the past several years. And one platform that works to boost those lucrative ties is the Africa-Turkey Economic Forum, which was just held in Istanbul. Ludovica Brignola has this report.
Turkey's spending spree in African nations is getting ever more lavish. Its foreign direct investment has grown exponentially between 2003 and 2020, and the number of Turkish embassies across the continent has nearly quadrupled since 2009.
Maybe we started a little bit late to act in Africa. We efficiently started to act some 20 years ago. Bilateral trade by that time was about $5 billion. During the last 20 years, we had it 5 times bigger. And right now, due to pandemic, last year the figure was more than $25 billion.
But the goal is to reach as much as $50 billion in the next few years. A bilateral business forum held in Istanbul since 2016 has been a useful platform to nurture relations.
This year's Africa-Turkey Economic and Business Forum is bringing in 250 delegates from 41 different African countries to discuss deals ranging from arms sales, agriculture and tourism. They're all hoping to add to the already $25 billion trade relationship between Turkey and the continent.
Marcos Tades is the CEO of a company that produces, packs and distributes traditional Ethiopian meals. He says Turkey is one of the easiest international markets to break into.
Turkey is the European, almost I can say the European capital, because it's a business hub for Europe. It's becoming one of the business hubs in Europe. So many countries, businessmen and women from various countries come to Istanbul, Turkey. So in that sense, I know I can grab hold of many business partners in Turkey.
Just before the forum, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan spent 4 days strengthening relations with Angola, Togo and Nigeria. But Turkey isn't the only country eyeing opportunities in Africa. The US, France and the UK have been focusing on pharmaceuticals and crude oil, while the UAE has become increasingly active on the continent, with military and port development contracts signed recently. However, some analysts say Turkey has an advantage as it takes a different approach to investments. Sentiments reiterated by participants at the forum.
Our relationship is based on win-win, is based on equal partnership. Turkey has no history of colonialism, of patronism in Africa. Africa and Turkey will look at each other as really equal partners in pursuing common interests. And we believe that that long-standing relationship that is based on deeper mutuality, on profit, is very important for us.
Although the competition is fierce, Turkish investment in African markets is expected to skyrocket, as favourable demographics may position it as a powerful alternative partner to the EU. Ludovica Brignola, Straight Talk.
And to discuss where trade ties between Turkey and Africa could be headed, joining me now from Istanbul is Federico Donelli. He's a researcher at the University of Genoa and the author of Turkey in Africa. And from the Nigerian capital, Abuja, Otunba Dele Oye. He is the president of Turkish-Nigerian Business Council. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Federico, how has Turkey's Africa policy evolved over the last 2 decades?
Over the last 2 decades, the Turkish policy in Africa has changed a lot, and they're still going on this transformation. We can say that usually when we analyze Turkey's policy in Africa, we divide in 3 main stages or 3 main parts. And we can say that during the last 2 years, Turkey has entered in the 3rd part of the first stages. And of course, when we talk about this policy, we have to talk about multidimensionality. I mean that Turkey tried to involve into different African countries within different sectors. Mm-hmm. That means that Turkey has in some way developed both economic and humanitarian sector together.
So, Otunba, what specific sectors are Turkish businessmen investing in Africa? We know there are many energy-related deals, but what else do they cover?
I think it's mainly industrial goods. They have dealings in plaster of Paris. We also have a whole lot of technology companies coming to Nigeria and indeed several countries. So it's basically industrial goods. This is the focus, apart from the oil and gas and LNG, which they get out of Nigeria. So its focus has been industrial goods and also agricultural goods. Sesame seeds is also a major export out of Africa to Turkey.
So, Federico, what kind of economic opportunities does the continent offer to Turkey and vice versa?
Of course, if we consider the relationship in terms of economic relationship, we have to consider that for both, for Africa as well, there are many opportunities. Of course, Turkey can find especially within the energy sector, as my colleague told you, Turkey wants to improve the supply of LNG and oil and gas. At the same time, on the other side, Turkey can offer, especially within the sector of infrastructure and manufacturing.
So, Otunba, what role do you think Turkey might play in terms of security and the fight against terrorism on the continent?
Well, first of all, Turkey's interest in Africa dates back to 1574 to 1595, the reign of Sultan Murad III. And even as at that time, they were mainly dealing in firearms. And today, Africa has substantial security challenges. And since if you want to really create an enabling environment, you have to maintain security. And Turkey is a very useful partner in this dimension. And Turkey, with its shared experience with Africa and even with the commonalities between both countries and the continent, you see it is very easy for Turkey to fully adapt and understand some of these issues and play a very critical role, unlike other trading partners who are so far apart from us in terms of relationship and also all sorts of channels. It's a lot easier to tell our story to the Turkish than to someone from the Far East or from the West. And that is why we are partners.
So, Federico, how has Turkey's developing defense industry caught the attention of several African countries? And, for example, besides the drone technology or the UAVs, what does Turkey offer to these countries in the fields of defense and security?
Yeah, and nowadays everybody is focused on drone diplomacy and UAV, but Turkey, since the last decade, started to improve the cooperation in terms of security, especially in counterterrorism. So in the training of special security forces, Turkey has done in Somalia first and then tried to export these training programs with other countries. And this is an important bargaining chip when Turkey has to establish new relationship. So, for example, with Nigeria, the counter-terrorism, the counter-insurgency programs is very affect the country. So this is important.
So, Otunba, what's the status of Turkey-Nigeria relations? How have their cooperation expanded in the last few years? And which sectors of cooperation stand out?
Well, oil and gas stand out in terms of business. Then we also have Turkish Airlines, which is flying to over 61 cities in Africa and 40 countries. That has also made us closer. Then we also have recently, the First Lady of Turkey opened the Turkish Institute for Culture and Tourism. This will also expand understanding between us. Then also the issue of education. We have over 2,208 students, Nigerian students in particular, in Turkey, with about 337 scholarships already granted. So there are several areas. I can also even mention, even far back as 1894, the first Shita-Babe Mosque was built in Lagos by the Turkish. That is under the reign of Sultan Abdulhamid II. So this relationship dates back, and it has been a positive spin in the sense that there was no colonialism. Rather, it was more of cooperation, trade, using Tripoli as a trade route. So Turkey, like I said, is a natural partner, and I don't know why we have not done so much, but I'm quite happy the Turkish president has visited over 30 African countries.
So,
and with the recent research, are really going to spin far better.
So, Federico, thousands of African students are currently studying in Turkey. Can you talk about how this can lay the foundation for future business and trade opportunities?
Yeah, of course, it is one of the sectors in which Turkey has invested a lot during the last few decades has been the educational sectors. And in terms of education, we have to consider both the state agency and also non-state agency. One of them is the Türkiye Bursları, so the scholarship for African students. And this is very important in order to establish link with the future generation. And if we consider that Africa is the continent of the upcoming decade, Turkey is trying to tie with the next decision makers and next also civil society of African countries.
So, Otunba, the Turkish Foreign Ministry's top Africa official said that Turkey's relations with Africa is not only business-related, but human-oriented. Can you describe how Turkey's approach is different than other countries besides its historic ties, of course?
I've told you, if you compare with other trading partners, right from the West, the relationship initially has been of exploitation, starting with the slavery. But we don't have that kind of ugly history between us. And in fact, this is to show a measure of Turkish relevance. As of 2005, the African Union granted Turkey observer status. So it's a marriage that is still blossoming. And I think both parties are serious about it. And we're working very hard to ensure, especially what like my colleague had mentioned, with the area of scholarship, more students going there, it enhances further understanding. And also with the cultural institute that just be established in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. All this would really add up and create a more positive future, and even currently, for the relationship between both the continent and Turkey.
So as for the bilateral trade volume, Federico, that has reached over $25 billion as of the end of 2020. Now the sides are determined to increase this figure to $50 billion. Is this viable?
Honestly, this is a huge goal that Turkey wants to achieve in the next years, but I think that probably the double of the volume is very difficult to reach, but at the same time, this is useful to understand how Africa is perceived as a land of opportunities for Turkey, and on the other hand, to add something to the previous question, Turkey's approach is different because it wants to avoid to create or to establish a new dependence relationship. Mm-hmm. That means that, for example, with African countries, this could be seen as a sort of a win-win policy. Okay.
Yes. So, and Otunba, Turkey will also host the third Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit in December. How would that contribute to the expansion of relations moving forward?
We just finished the Turkey-Africa Summit in Istanbul a few days ago. I think that is of the ministers. Now, they've already laid the groundwork for the head of state meeting to naturally enhance what has been agreed at the last summit. And I am quite positive that the target set also is realizable if we work as we're working currently within the same framework and the understanding being generated. We in Nigeria, we've been able to move, we are doing over $2 billion now. And I think we are in a position to do much more with the industries and the linkages we are trying to establish to the Nigerian-Turkish Business Council. So we're working very hard on it. I think the people are ready for Turkey products.
All right, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk.